celebrating our connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Hal Abrams, here to celebrate the connection with your pet. Animal communicator Joey Turner, dog father Joey Villani, dog trainer Alan Kabel, and Dr. Debbie, all for you. And Stacy Cohn, what do you got going on over there?
You know, it's amazing what they can do when people lose an arm or a leg, a hand. I mean, they can attach somebody else's hand to your hand now. Your face transplants. Well, can you imagine if you were an alligator and you lost your tail? Another alligator bit it off. How would you get around? I mean, they use them for protection. Well, thanks to Hollywood, this alligator who had his tail bitten off got another one. I'll tell you how. Coming up on Animal Radio News.
Seems to be a lot of tail stories today. I don't know if anyone's noticed that. Is it just me? Okay. Also on the show today, we're going to be talking to Anthony Eddy. He taxidermies dogs and cats and animals.
No, he freeze dries them.
Yeah,
I think that's two different things. We'll have to find out.
After they die, of course. We just got a call saying that's cruel to do that, but it's after they've expired. I want to straighten that out right now. Hey, David, how are you doing?
Not too bad. How are you today?
Good. Where are you calling from?
I'm in Girard, Ohio.
Girard, are you a truck driver?
Yes, sir.
I heard it in your voice.
Yeah, I'm tired.
What's going on with your dog? I have Alan Kabel here, dog trainer extraordinaire.
Okay, we adopted a rescue Chihuahua. It's a 15-month-old female. She's spayed, and she has a problem with happy pee. That's the first thing.
What was that?
Why do you call it happy pee?
Happy pee?
Is when you see her, she rolls over on her back, she pops her legs up, you rub her belly, and then all of a sudden, tinkle, tinkle.
I have one of those.
She's doing it all over the house, on our bedspread, carpeting, and all that. And we take her out. We let her out in the backyard. I know it's cold out. But we only let her out for a couple minutes. She sniffs. She wanders around, and she comes back in the house. And about 20 minutes later, she'll pee. Last weekend, it was like 65 degrees, so I put her collar on, and away we went for a walk, and we walked for about a mile, came back, didn't pee, didn't squat to poop or anything like that, and we're kind of concerned about why she's having this happy pee all the time.
Let me ask you something, Dave. When you take her, well, there's a lot of things I have to say to you, but first of all, it's not happy pee. It's what we call submissive urination, and it happens a lot of times with rescue dogs because you don't know where that dog has been. The odds are that dog was abused, and people, meaning you, give off all kinds of unconscious signals to dogs. Dogs don't understand language. They watch your body. They watch the way you move. And a lot of times when you move incorrectly or you react incorrectly, a dog perceives it as a threat or gets afraid because the dog has a lack of confidence. So they get confused. They get nervous. And so you're probably doing a lot of things that encourage the dog to go to the bathroom. And the first thing you need to know is it's pretty much subconscious. They don't even know they're doing it. So you can't punish them or react to it. You can't give them any attention at all. The first thing you need to understand is when you come home, you have to not pay any attention to the dog. You're going to have to reprogram yourself because you want to give your dog lots of affection and attention. But when you do that, you're actually doing the exact wrong thing. Because when you give a dog that has submissive urination attention and affection, you're teaching the dog that what the dog is doing is what you want it to do, is a good thing. The other thing is you can't react to the pee when it happens. You've got to make believe you don't even see it. And you've got to search for ways to give your dog confidence. So the first thing you need to do is when you come home, pay no attention to the dog. Pay no attention to the dog when the dog is peeing, unless the dog is doing it, consciously. In other words, you're just walking around or you're just sitting there and the dog just starts to pee. Then you've got to make a correction. But if it's something you're doing that triggers the dog to pee, like you just walk close to your dog or you get up too quickly or you make a loud noise, or you've got to really pay attention to what you're doing, then you really can't punish the dog because the dog is just reacting out of fear. So you've got to find ways to increase your dog's confidence. Now, here's just a few things you can do, okay? when you come home, don't go straight over to him. Don't let him out right away. Let him mellow out. Let him calm down. When you leave the house, pay no attention to him. Just leave. Don't say goodbye. Don't talk to him. Nothing like that. Never let him see you clean up the mess inside the house. Just be slower and calmer. Wave at your dog as you walk by. Smile at your dog. Train other people to be calm around your dog.
The lady that we got the dog from, she had it for about 9 months. And she said the same thing. The dog would pee anytime she wanted to. And I just thought, okay, we're getting her. She's not used to our household. And it was a new environment to her. And I talked to my brother, who has a pair of chocolate labs, and he says it's probably a culture shock, or because she's in a new environment, she's not used to it. I said, okay, we can deal with that. But it's been like 2 weeks, and she sleeps with us. My wife goes to work, lets her out in the morning before she goes to work, comes home, doesn't pay any attention to her. She goes straight to the bedroom, and she lets the dog wander from the kitchen, and then she'll come into the bedroom, jump up in the bed, and my wife will go to rub her belly, and I got to pee. And
yeah, see, that's pure submission, buddy. You know, another good idea. You said it was only 2 weeks, and 2 weeks is nothing. I mean, it's going to take to change a dog like this, to change the behavior of a dog like this. You might go get a professional. I mean, if you have the dough, a dog behaviorist can do wonders with you and for the dog, because it takes a long time to give a dog the confidence to overcome the fear that somebody gave this dog. And a good point of fact for you would be to put your dog in a kennel at night, and when you take the dog out during the day, stay outside until the dog goes to the bathroom. Just, let the dog. Does your dog act like a dog when it's on a leash? Does she sniff around, do stuff like that?
No, she walks with her tail between her legs.
Yep,
and it's
pure
like
fear.
She's afraid.
She is afraid.
Anything.
Pure. So what you've got to do is teach her to be a dog again. See, she's not acting like a dog. If you watch how dogs act, what does a dog do? As soon as you let him out, he wants to sniff around. He wants to mark his territory. He wants to investigate. Your dog's not acting like a dog. Your dog is so afraid. So the first thing you do you have a backyard?
Yep.
Take your dog for walks in the backyard. Take her to the spot you want her to go to the bathroom. Like what you're going to do is walk in a circle or a square, depending on how big your backyard is. You're not going to talk to your dog at all. You're just going to walk. And then the area where you want your dog to the bathroom, you're going to stay and stop for about 60 seconds and just stand there. Don't look at your dog. Don't talk to your dog. Don't take your dog out of the backyard until your dog becomes confident in your backyard. Start sniffing around, peeing, acting like a dog. Then you take her out of the backyard and you walk her around the block where you live. You don't take her out of that area till she gets confident in that area. And you'll be able to recognize the confidence because she'll stop acting afraid. She'll start acting confident. She'll start acting like a dog, sniffing, forgetting that she's afraid. She'll be acting really, really cool like a dog. And then you expand the area, and then what you're going to want to do is start taking her around other people and other dogs, but not too close. Just close enough she can see them. And then when she starts getting nervous, watch her body. When she starts getting nervous, you walk the other way. When she acts nervous and afraid, you don't talk to her. You don't say, "Oh, that's okay, girl." You don't try to comfort her because that just reinforces the behavior. That teaches her, "Oh, when I act like this, I get affection." So you don't want to do that. You want to only give her affection when she's confident, when she's acting like a dog, when she pees outside, and you don't want to give her any affection or attention when she's acting afraid. You just want to be calm and quiet, confident. Does that make sense? Use your yard, expand the area as she gains confidence. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. But here again, we have another problem with her where she'll go. I have a California king-size Craftmatic bed. And on Monday, I was home, and she snuggled up to me, and I took a nap. And I woke up, and I said, "Okay, come on, let's go." And the next thing I know, she's underneath the bed, and she wouldn't come out.
Again, listen to me. Your dog is terribly afraid. So, again, no talking. So if you're going to let your dog sleep in bed with you, when you decide to get up very slowly, walk out of the room, don't talk to her, don't look at her, just leave, okay? Don't say anything, okay? If she runs under the bed, let her stay under the bed. Don't try to coax her out. Don't do anything. Just let her be. As she gains confidence, because you're confident and because you're giving her the correct body language, she will come out and follow you. Trust me. She will come to you.
Okay. Thank you for your call today, David. We wish you the best of luck with that and the happy pee. I know Ladybug, the studio stunt dog, has a little happy pee every once in a while.
You know what I say?
What do you say?
I say rub the dog on the belly, let him pee all over, and then go out and buy Joey the
You know what?
stain and odor remover. And by the gallon. Buy it by the gallon, 50-gallon drums. It works wonders.
I was just thinking during that call there that you were seeing ka-ching, 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 because as long as they're peeing, you're selling the Joey Villani spot.
Pee all over. Pee.
The Joey Villani capitalist system.
That's right.
Don't forget, you can get your fix of Animal Radio anytime you want with the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android. It's made possible by Fear Free, helping your pets live their happiest, healthiest, fullest lives at home, at the vet, and everywhere in between. Visit them at fearfree.com to find care near you.
Dogs or cats, horse or emu, animals are people too.
What do you get the person who has everything? How about some panda poop? If you didn't know, pandas are becoming really popular. People love everything panda. There's a Panda Express fast food chain, an upcoming animated film. Looking to capitalize on all this panda pandemonium, the keepers of Thailand's panda couple, Chang Chang and Lin Hui, came up with a novel way to dispose of the daily 55 pounds of panda poo. They're making things out of it to help pay for the $250,000 a year the zoo spends on keeping the pandas. The panda poo goes through a day-long process of boiling, bleaching, and drying, turning it into a sort of panda paper. So far, you can buy notebooks, keychains, and even fan yourself with a panda poo fan. I'm Britt Savage for Animal Radio.
Animals are people too. Animal Radio.
Do your dogs go nuts when they hear fireworks or during a bad thunderstorm? It's not their fault. They have sensitive ears. You love your dog, and so do we. That's why we developed a perfect solution for your loved pets by eliminating the harmful noise. It's called Doggy Hush, a unique waterproof set of headphones that go over your dog's ears. They're so comfortable, your dog won't even know they're wearing them. And when this happens, your dog will feel and stay safe and stress-free. Go to doggyhush.com. Enter the promo code we're about to give you for a free special gift. Again, buy Doggy Hush for your dog today and protect your dog's ears from fireworks, thunderstorms, and a lot more harmful noises. Go to doggyhush.com and enter this promo code, Radio4. Radio and the number 4. Go to doggyhush.com right now and enter the promo code Radio4. Again, that's promo code Radio4.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Coming up in just a couple of minutes, a guy who freeze-dries his, he freeze-dries animals after they've expired. That's his business. So if you're thinking of a great way to memorialize your animal, that's on the way right here on Animal Radio. Hi, Danielle. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. But my dog, not so good.
Oh, what's up?
Well, she is a 10-month Chihuahua Terrier mix. She's one of those little small dogs, about 5 pounds. And every once in a while when I see her outside, she'll be eating her own poop.
Ooh, lovely.
Yeah, she actually is one of 3 dogs. The other dogs are also mutts. So we just have 3 dogs. They all poop in the same yard. I'm doing what I can, but I don't want her to eat poop because she sleeps with me.
Yes, and you don't want to, and not only for the gross factor and, having to smell that breath, but for dogs that ingest feces, they have a higher rate of acquiring parasites and, having just digestive upset in general. So it's definitely not a habit we want to, have going on. Now, do they have access to go outside, like through a doggy doors through the day, or?
I live in a house where there's a room downstairs where that's where my bedroom is, and there's a sliding glass door to the backyard. So usually I work from home and I keep the door open, so she runs in and out throughout the day.
Well, the bottom line is that this is actually a perfectly normal behavior. It may not be acceptable, but it is normal. So dogs do this. It's kind of an instinctual thing. And if we look at like how dogs are raised, their mama dog actually cleans their backside and actually stimulates them to go to the bathroom. So she actually ingests their waste. So this is somewhat a kind of a cleanup mechanism they have. And then also it just becomes kind of a wacky, fun habit for some dogs. The challenge is recognizing it is an instinct and it's going to happen if we allow it to happen through access. So one big problem that I have with your current setup is that there's no supervision. So if she's allowed to go and do things out back at will, you have no ability to correct her for that behavior. So taking her outside to do her potty needs and to pair that with a positive reinforcement, praising her, giving her a treat, and then walking back into the house. That actually, it helps with a couple things. One, you know where she's doing her business and you can praise her for that. And you can control her so she doesn't get back into that. You accompany that with picking up the poo in the yard so she doesn't have the opportunity again the next time you go out and to snarf up a turd that quickly. Because trust me, they will. They'll walk by, and I've seen it happen where it's just like a vacuum cleaner and the turd is gone before you know it. So you really have to take control of her bathroom visits, and you can't leave a doggy door open or leave them unattended in the backyard because she's going to go right back for it. So the other things that we can try to do is that we want to make sure that if you do catch her in the act, we don't discipline her. We don't yell at her. We don't chase her trying to pull the poop out of her mouth, because that actually makes it more fun and it becomes part of the game where mom's now going to chase me when I get to my poopy. And so you want to have an alternative thing you can do at that time. So I like to use the squeaky toy distraction. So you're outside, you're out, whether you have her on a leash or what have you, she starts to go for the poop. Instead of yelling at her, you say, "Oh, look at me, squeak, squeak, squeak," and you go run in the other direction. In a puppy of her age, that's way more fun than eating a turd. So you have to make something else more attractive. Trying to pry the turd out of her mouth and yelling at her, chasing her, all of those things are very counterproductive. So don't let yourself do that.
All right.
And then there are some over-the-counter remedies you can try. There's deter tablets, forbid powder. Some people just use Adolph's meat tenderizer and sprinkle that on the pet's food.
Really?
And what all of those things do, it's basically MSG and some enzymes in the meat tenderizer. But what they do is they make the dog's poop taste bad, which is great. You think that poop tastes bad anyways, but and of course they have to be ingesting their own feces. So whoever you're treating in their food would be whose poop they're eating. But that can help for some dogs, but it is not the sole cure. And I have a lot of people that say they use these things, but that's all they do, and it will fail if that's all you do. But if you use it in conjunction with more of a training program like this, then it can help.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. You've been very helpful.
Good luck with that. Thanks for listening.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by my toe. My mother said, pick this line. How about this? Patrick. Hey, Patrick. How are you?
I'm okay. Thank you for taking my call.
Of course. What can we do for you?
Well, I have this dog. She's 4 years old, about 4 years, 3 months old. I've had her for 4 years. And I drive a truck for a living, so we spend a lot of time in a semi-truck, which she does really well. But when we go home and in my car, she's just a spastic. I'm afraid she's going to have a puppy stroke one of these days.
Do you get in the car with her, just like you do the truck?
Oh, yeah. Like if we go, she always wants to get in a car. But once that car gets to moving, she's just running back and forth, crying and whining and screaming, and just... It's frightening.
How big is your dog? What kind of dog you got?
She's a Schnauzer and Yorkie mix, about 21, 22 pounds.
You know, it's really, really cool. My suggestion for you really quick is just to put a crate in there, put your dog in a crate in the car. Okay. If you want to do it really quickly, and then just take off and see what she does. If she acts all calm in the crate, you're good to go. If she gets all crazy in the crate, don't talk to her, don't look at her, don't pay any attention, only give her attention when she's quiet. And if she does go crazy in the crate, then what you want to do to teach her to ride in cars is, again, keep your car parked in the driveway and sit in the car with your dog. Don't even move the car. just sitting in the car. And when the dog mellows out, you tell her, good dog. And then you start the car and you sit in the driveway. And when the dog mellows out, you tell her, good dog. And then you take a trip around the block and you progress it from there. But put a crate in the car, anchor the crate so the crate can't move. I bet you she'll be really cool inside the crate and calm and confident in the crate.
Well, that's a great idea. I could put that crate on the back of the Harley, too, then, right?
This is
Animal Radio. If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you use insulin or have had hypoglycemic events, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. That's 800-434-5019.
Hello, this is Franz from Hans and Franz. Don't be a girly man. Get your dog spayed and neutered. That's right. And just because you spay or neuter your dog, it does not make them a girly dog.
This is an Animal Radio News Update.
I'm Stacy Cohen for Animal Radio. Well, when you think of a therapy animal, a dog comes to mind. You know, people have therapy dogs. A lot of people have therapy dogs that they pretend are therapy dogs, but they're not. But there are real ones. You know, they do that so they can take their dog wherever they want. But also horses come to mind. You don't really think about rats as being therapy animals, because, you know, they've got these reputations of being a little creepy, like in the movie Willard or Ben. But it's scenes in the movie that Vicki Altman wants people to know is just a movie. Rats aren't terrible. They're not awful, especially domesticated rats, Altman said. She owns 8-month-old Cheyenne. It's a Japanese-bred domesticated rat who, curiously, pops her head in and out of her pouch. The owner of Cheyenne is sharing her red-eye whiskered friend with others through MoCan Pet Partners. It's a nonprofit visiting local organization, and they use animals as therapy. Now, according to Altman, Cheyenne is already a hit with her little visitor kids who face medical battles of their own. She said Cheyenne passed an evaluation to become a pet partner, and she has to be handled by 3 different type of people, be around noisy situations, anything that you might encounter in a nursing home, places like the Ronald McDonald House. While Cheyenne is visiting, Altman said she keeps her on a homemade harness. And she said that Cheyenne is a sweet little rat and gets along with everyone, even her cat roommates. But most importantly, Altman said Cheyenne knows how to care. So, you know, all different kinds of animals can be therapy animals. A tailless alligator living at an animal care facility in Phoenix now has a brand new tail. Sarah Jarvis with the Core Institute says Mr. Stubbs' new appendage wasn't hard to fashion. It was made from a silicone material normally used for special effects in Hollywood, and they just fastened it to him with nylon straps.
Figuring out how to make a mold and then getting the mold and then playing with the material, and I made some little models and stuff and figured out that it's going to be pretty good for the full tail.
Animal experts say they believe Mr. Stubbs' tail was likely bitten off by another gator, and now he's being taught how to swim with his new appendage. I'm Stacy Cohen. Get more animal breaking news at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update. Get more at animalradio.com.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now. Download the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Any of you who have owned pets for a while, been a guardian of pets, might have lost a pet. It happens. It can be very traumatic, very upsetting. And oftentimes you'll want to memorialize them with an urn that may sit somewhere in the house.
Or stone in your yard, a marker.
Gravestone. Mm-hmm. This guy has a way that you could really memorialize them. Anthony Eddy is joining us. Hi, Anthony. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
You freeze-dry pets, taxidermy them, pretty much?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so
we do.
I got to ask, is this something that a lot of people do? This is actually the first time I've heard of this. I mean, I know that the deer heads that are on the wall or the falcons, but do people take their dogs and cats and taxidermy them?
Well, there's quite a few people that are doing it. It's enough that it's a large part of our business right now. We're doing about 150 to 200 pets a year, and we're talking all types of pets, from dogs and cats to alligators to iguanas. It's just a various amount of different pets that we do.
Wow.
The process is freeze-drying.
That's correct.
Is that different from regular taxidermy?
Oh, yes. In freeze-drying, you have to have what are freeze-dry machines, which have been manufactured. And these cost about $25,000 or $30,000.
Wow!
And what makes it so popular for pets is that we don't have to disturb the pet. The pet is positioned, and then it's frozen, and then it goes in these machines. And these machines cause water to vaporize right out of the animal. And after several months, all the moisture has been removed, and therefore the pet is stable. This machine will make water act like dry ice. If you're familiar with dry ice, you know we can just put it out here on a solid floor, and it will vaporize and never go through the liquid stage. Well, with these machines, that is how it makes water behave.
Does it last? Does the pet actually last longer in this state than if it was just regular taxidermied?
Probably as well, or probably longer, because we aren't disturbing the natural tissues too much.
And that can take up to a year to freeze dry a pet?
A large dog would probably take a year. A small cat or a 10-pound, a lot of our cats weighing 10 pounds and less will take about 5 to 6 months.
Oh, so if I drop off a cat, it's going to take a half a year for me before I even get it back. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. That's correct.
So I guess this is different from taxidermy. I know people complain when they have their animal taxidermy because it doesn't look right, the eyes aren't right. It's a little different. It doesn't look quite the same. But I guess this just freezes it in its natural state, so you don't have that problem?
Well, no, there is. We do get some movement around the eyes. We have to remove the natural eye because it just turns white if you try to freeze dry it. And so we custom make. We have glass eyes for cats that are custom made for us in South Dakota, and we can get them pretty close when it goes in the freeze dryer. But then after the pet comes out, we have to do final adjustments. And the way we do that, we can take 70% isopropyl alcohol and rehydrate that area some. Then we work off photographs to get back the identity of that individual pet. The facial features are still there, and people know their pets very well, so it's very important to do good work. Because they know that pet very, very well, whereas a deer hunter or any other type of hunter doesn't know his specimen before it's killed. So.
How much does something like this cost?
A pet the size of a cat starts at $850, and that's for the 10 pounds. And we have, we're currently doing a dog that's going to cost well over $7,000.
Wow.
Just because it's a big dog?
Yes, because it's a big dog. It's a Malamute. It weighs 170 pounds.
Wow.
But the gentleman flew it in on a Learjet, so we thought he could probably handle it.
He can afford it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So why do you do this?
Well, it's just a natural progression of taxidermy for me. We started out doing taxidermy when I was young, in my teens, and gradually I worked into doing freeze dry for other taxidermists, and we were mainly doing turkey heads and squirrels and small mammals and things like this. And then we had a request at some point that someone wanted a pet done, so we took it on, and the pet turned out very well. The customer was very happy. And from that point, through word of mouth, and then we've had lots of exposure to the news media, our business has grown to what it is today.
Can you make them in a certain position? Because I know my cat, for instance, lies in a certain position. Can I taxidermy him in that position?
Yes, that's the beauty of the freeze-dry process also. Since we aren't using in conventional taxidermy, we're using a mannequin that you order and buy, and you're very limited into the poses. But in freeze-dry, since we're using the real vertebra and the real muscles, we can move that cat around or a dog into various positions. So what we really like to do, and we ask our customers, is we like to have photos and reference, and we ask them, now, how do you want this pet position? And oftentimes we like to work over a photo because it's the old saying, a photo is worth 1,000 words, and in our business, that's surely the case.
I can't imagine, having my deceased animals sitting in the corner? What do people put them in the corners of rooms, or what do they do with them?
In their
usually?
beds, their little dog beds.
Right, a lot of them go back in their dog beds, and the people that we work for, people that don't have it done, or a lot of people think it's very unusual and very odd. But the group that we do work for, they're extremely grateful that there is somebody out there doing this process, because they just can't stand the idea of burying their pets or having it cremated. So we're an alternative for those people.
It certainly is unique. Let me give out the website. It's www.pet-animalpreservation.com. And, of course, we'll put links to everything you've heard on today's show over at animalradio.com. Anthony Eddy joining us. Thank you so much for spending time and telling us all about this.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Have a great day, Eddie.
You too.
Anthony Eddy.
That was interesting.
Yeah, would you do that?
Well, I only if I could, have fun with it. I mean, put my dog in a position that would make me laugh.
Put him in a car and roll down the window, stick his head out, and watch people film.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, or he's sniffing his butt the entire time, or something like that. Something
great for the carpool lane.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Sit next to you.
Or if your wife expires and could you get hurt? I don't know.
How about a bunch of security? Like for security deterrence, you actually buy a bunch of gigantic dead dogs, freeze dry them, and put them at your gate or at the front of your house like the stone lions.
And then you move them around every once in a while.
Yeah, you move them around every.
You know what, though? The only problem with that is you'd only be able to afford little dogs. Because at seven G's, I don't need that deterrent. That's like robbing me.
It'd be kind of funny though, is to take one to like the front of a store and just sit there and go, "Hey, you want to pet my dog?"
And I'd like to see what they look like, though. I'll be very honest with you.
Yeah, see if they really are lifelike.
Freeze dried. That's the only thing that got freeze dried was coffee. See,
that's what I thought.
Don't get that mixed up.
Now, if you add water, do you have a real dog again?
Oh, there you go.
The chia dog.
Check out Animal Radio highlights. All the good stuff without the blah, blah, blah. Browse on over to animalradio.pet.
Hi, this is Brandon McMillan on Animal Radio, and be sure to adopt and not shop.
Do your dogs go nuts when they hear fireworks or during a bad thunderstorm? It's not their fault. They have sensitive ears. You love your dog, and so do we. That's why we developed a perfect solution for your loved pets by eliminating the harmful noise. It's called Doggy Hush, a unique waterproof set of headphones that go over your dog's ears. They're so comfortable, your dog won't even know they're wearing them. And when this happens, your dog will feel and stay safe and stress-free. Go to doggyhush.com. Enter the promo code we're about to give you for a free special gift. Again, buy Doggy Hush for your dog today and protect your dog's ears from fireworks, thunderstorms, and a lot more harmful noises. Go to doggyhush.com and enter this promo code, Radio4. Radio and the number 4. Go to doggyhush.com right now and enter the promo code Radio4. Again, that's promo code Radio4.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Here's Hal and Judy.
A lot of dangers around this time of the year with, Easter lilies and what other things?
Well, Easter lilies are horribly toxic to cats, and what a lot of people don't realize is that just a few nibbles on a leaf, or actually the dusting of the pollen for a cat, can be fatal. It causes kidney failure. So you should not have Easter lilies and many other styles of lilies in your home if you have a cat. But the other thing, we just had a dog that actually ingested a ton of Easter grass and had to have exploratory surgery. And this is actually something most common in cats, but dogs can do it too. And actually is a string foreign body. So when they eat it, it gets stuck in their intestine, requiring surgery and very dangerous. So that's another big one. And then, of course, chocolate. Yes. And so remember, the large amounts you might have around during Easter is really the big thing. So don't leave it under beds or places where kids might hide it, where dogs can get into it. And dark chocolate is by far the worst.
What about eggs? The kids kids are looking for eggs around the yard. Do they?
If they're cooked eggs, a small amount is not going to be a problem. Definitely raw eggs are a no. But those plastic eggs, a lot of times there's the candies in there. So I've had dogs where they'll chew pieces of that, and that can actually be a foreign object that cuts through their digestive tract. So, all of those kind of yummies you want to keep kind of out of the way.
What about the shell on the hard-boiled egg? Will that harm them?
Generally not, because it breaks up, it's digested. It just can cause a little tummy upset if they're eating it intact, but that's generally not a big problem. All of these things. And, the thing that, I cringe at Easter every year is because people always feel compelled to buy the baby chicks. Or to go out and buy bunnies for their kids. Right. And you got to remember, chicks grow up into chickens or roosters.
Oh, boy.
And bunnies just, aren't an easy pet for small children. They're really not appropriate. And they have special diet. They have special husbandry that they need, environment, and some medical care, too. So it's not something just to go out on a whim because you feel the Easter urge. So we don't want to have those pets turned in at shelters.
Let's head to the phones. We have Jimmy on the phone. Hey, Jimmy, how are you doing?
All right. How are you doing today?
Good. What's going on?
I have a Dachshund. She's about 5-6 years old. Okay. And she has all of a sudden developed or lack of use of her rear leg, and she's dragging it. I've got a wheelchair I'm building for her. That way she can possibly build strength back up.
Okay. Has this baby been to the vet at all?
Yes, ma'am. We've taken her, and they've looked at her, and they want to do further tests, but right now it's not within the financial means.
Okay. Well, because definitely when I hear a dachshund who's dragging a leg, it definitely is a very serious symptom and different than a dog that's limping. So in particular, dachshunds are a breed that are high risk for spinal cord problems where they'll have disc issues. And those discs actually kind of push up against the spine and they cause pain. And then eventually they can cause loss of sensation or function of those legs. So if she's only got this on one leg, that kind of tells me this might be more localized to that side of the spine in the lower back. And certainly, we'd like to do some level of basic tests. And for everyone, I think there's the decision we have to make whether it's a pet we can treat surgically or if we treat them medically. And if testing and surgery is not an option, I want to make sure that on her behalf that I make sure that you do work on pain management. And that is something that cost-wise, there's still some very inexpensive options that we shouldn't ignore. That pain that is certainly to be present there. Make sure you do address that. Medicines like tramadol, non-steroidal pain relievers, or even prednisone or some steroids can be used for these guys. And I like the idea that you're trying to help her maneuver and get around, with a pet wheelchair, but you can't do that without taking care of the pain and then making sure that she can eliminate her bladder. If those two things aren't being taken care of, then I'm afraid that she's going to be in a bad state and she's going to be suffering. So are you noticing if she's eliminating and going to the bathroom?
We are making sure of that. We make sure good. She does. Every time we take her out, she does use the restroom.
Good.
We don't even know how this developed. I mean, I've had Dachshunds for 20 years. And I've had one who got real bad, and we ended up having to do the only option, put him down, and it hurt bad. But this one, we've had her since she was a pup, and we've picked her up, put her on the bed, picked her up, carried her down the stairs, put her back down. We've not let her become strenuous on, jumping around or anything of that nature. And all of a sudden, she just started losing function of that leg.
Yeah. And, the best thing, certainly for many dogs is surgery. That can be very costly. It can be thousands of dollars in testing and surgery. But I can tell you, I have had oodles and oodles of dachshunds that have had problems where we can treat them medically. The number one thing you can do to ensure success with treating her medically is to rest her. So while a wheelchair might be nice for the long-term paralyzed patient, for her, the number one thing is not allowing her to move around or to try to get around, because that is going to kind of slow down her recovery. And I can recall one patient I had where this gentleman had the best interest of his pet at heart, and he knew he couldn't do the surgery, couldn't do a lot of costly hospitalization. He kept that dog in a pet crate, a kennel, and we did that for 2 months. And I'll be damned, this dog went from dragging both of its back legs and having no pain sensation to walking like a normal dog. But you can't expect that kind of recovery if we're allowing her to run around and motor around the house in a cart. There might be a place and a time for that, but I don't think that's going to be right yet. And I would definitely work very stringently to keep her very confined, preferably in a small pet crate, while she's healing up.
Okay, I have one I use for whenever I travel. I put both of them in so I can put her in that.
Yeah, definitely. And then, like I said, make sure she is on some pain medication so that will help her feel more comfortable, as she's, recovering from this.
Yes, ma'am, I will do that.
For anyone else with pets, dachshunds are definitely a breed. We see this kind of problem pretty commonly, but also beagles. We see a lot of different types of back problems.
Do your dogs go nuts when they hear fireworks or during a bad thunderstorm? It's not their fault. They have sensitive ears. You love your dog, and so do we. That's why we developed a perfect solution for your loved pets by eliminating the harmful noise. It's called Doggy Hush, a unique waterproof set of headphones that go over your dog's ears. They're so comfortable, your dog won't even know they're wearing them. And when this happens, your dog will feel and stay safe and stress-free. Go to doggyhush.com. Enter the promo code we're about to give you for a free special gift. Again, buy Doggy Hush for your dog today and protect your dog's ears from fireworks, thunderstorms, and a lot more harmful noises. Go to doggyhush.com and enter this promo code, Radio4. Radio and the number 4. Go to doggyhush.com right now and enter the promo code Radio4. Again, that's promo code Radio4.
Celebrating our connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio. Here are your hosts, Hal Abrams and Judy Francis.
And welcome, my friend. Judy is screening your calls. Dog trainer Alan Kabel is here. Dr. Debbie, dog father Joey Volani, and Joy Turner. All for your calls today. Coming up on the show today in just a few minutes, in fact, we're going to be talking to a guy who has a brand new app, an iPad app that can train your dog. It's going to put
Alan out of work.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
Joey Volani, what are you going to be talking about today?
Yes, sir. Well, I am going to be talking about proper preparation of your dog's coat from spring to summer.
Oh, summarizing.
Summarizing. Yes, we're going to be summarizing. I'll summarize the whole thing for you.
Stacy Cohn in the newsroom.
When you think about therapy animals, you think of a dog. Everybody has, not everybody, but people have therapy dogs.
Sure.
And they could be very expensive, too, $7,000 for some of those dogs. But some people can't function without them. What about a rat, therapy rat? Well, that's the latest trend, and this rat even gets along with cats. I'll tell you about it coming up on Animal Radio News.
Wow. More rat talk on Animal Radio.
Rats and tails today.
How long do rats live, Dr. Debbie?
They live a couple years.
See,
so
that's the only problem with that.
Yeah, they're not a long-lived creature.
Let's see. Hey, Brian, how are you doing?
All right.
Where are you calling from today?
Jackson, Tennessee.
What's going on?
I've got a Jack Russell that I can't keep her out of the trash no matter what I've tried. And she's about 4 years old now, and we just don't know what to do with her about that.
What have you tried? Tell me what you've tried.
Tapping her nose, telling her no, hiding the trash can, and find it and go right after it again.
So, basically, does your dog go on tables and counters, too, to get food?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you ever feed your dog from the table or counter? Do you feed your dog people food?
I don't.
Who does?
I feed her strictly dog food. Father-in-law does. He's over there.
Father-in-law does. Well, see, you can't do anything. You can't fix the problem until everybody in your house understands that that dog cannot have people food from the table, from the counter, from anywhere where you eat. That's the first thing you have to fix. The second thing you have to fix is you have to teach your dog where to go when you eat. And you never feed your dog before you eat, only after you eat. And you only feed your dog dog food in the same spot every time, okay, and not anywhere around where you eat or when you eat. Dog can't come near the table when you eat. Has to go to a spot far from the table or its spot or rug, whatever it is, wherever wherever your dog goes or wherever your dog's spot is, you have to place your dog in that spot and teach your dog to stay there while your family eats. Does that make sense? Does your dog beg? Okay, so these are the first things you got to work on. Now, to give you a quick fix, I was telling Dr. Debbie, there is a product, I cannot remember what it is, but there's a product that you can buy. It kind of looks like a mouse trap, and you get like 3 or 4 of them, and they go on the lid of the garbage can, and you put like a newspaper over it so the dog can't see it. As soon as your dog makes a move to get in the trash can, these things go off and make a really loud, unpleasant noise, and they pop at your dog and scare your dog a lot. I mean, it doesn't hurt him, but it gives him a shock. It scares him. It's like a correction. And when a dog learns that, hey, I know there's food in there, but I don't know what's going to happen. Something bad's going to happen if I touch that can. It'll override the desire and passion to get in there for the food. Now, to keep them off the counters, that'll work when you're not around. When you're around, you've got to know how to correct your dog. So when your dog goes for the trash can, you've got to make a quick, swift correction, which means, hey, clap your hands, hey, and poke them in the neck. Grab them away from the trash. An unpleasant response. You don't start yelling. You don't start talking. It's just one quick word, quick reaction, poke, or a correction with a leash, and pull him away from the can real quick. Correction. And then make him go lie down in his spot and tell him he's a bad dog. And after about 10 minutes of him staying in his spot, you tell him he's a good dog. With the counter, when you're not around, you make a pyramid of like cans. You get a bunch of like 12 pop cans, and you make a pyramid, and you attach a little piece of food to it, and when he goes to get it, all the cans are going to fall on his head and freak him out. And then it'll alert you to come out and give him a quick correction if you're fast enough. It has to be within 30 seconds. But the most important thing, my friend, is nobody can feed your dog table scraps. Your dog can't be allowed to beg. And your dog has to be treated the same by everybody with consistency. Everybody in your family has to do the same thing, or you're not going to be successful. You're just going to mess your dog up. Does that make sense?
That's what I keep telling. Yeah, that's what I keep telling them. I like how she stays so slender, and when they start feeding her, like swells out, and I'm like,
Well, you've got to train the people in your house. The dog is not the problem. The people are the problem. They've got to be trained. And you got to let them know it's for the good of the dog. I mean, dogs are not happy when they're allowed to do stuff like this.
Can you put shot collars on people to help train them?
You know what? It's not a bad idea. People think they're doing a nice thing for the dog when they give the dog table scraps and when they allow dogs to beg and they feed dogs off the table. But in reality, what it's doing is there are times you're not going to want your dog to do that. Dogs can't distinguish. It's like jumping on people. It's like some people say, oh, it's okay. He can jump on me. I like it. But see, dogs can't distinguish, oh, I can jump on this guy and I can't jump on that guy. A dog either knows he can jump on people or he can't jump on people. And if you let a dog jump on some people and not on others, all it does is confuse him. It gives him anxiety, makes him nervous, fearful. And that's why dogs get crazy. That's why dogs get messed up. They do not understand what is expected of them. They get nuts from that. Dogs need consistency. They need structure. They need boundaries and limitations and then affection. So that's it. Go train the people in your house and everything will work out for you.
I won't start smacking their hands.
Hey, Brian, thanks for your call today. We appreciate it. Good luck on that.
Dogs or cats, horse or emu, animals are people too.
In China, a toy black leopard caused a near riot. The 3-foot stuffed animal looked enough like a leopard to scare both dogs and pedestrians. One witness described the scene saying people were running for their lives, some of them running into traffic, causing a traffic jam. Eventually, police arrived with an armed anesthetist from a local zoo. After observing the leopard for a while, one of the officers got the nerve to walk over and touch it, and found out it was a toy. I'm Britt Savage for Animal Radio.
Animals are people too. Animal Radio.
Oh, what did he say? He said, we're all across the USA, the most listened to pet show today. Animal Radio, we're everywhere you go. Animal Radio. Animal Radio.
It's Animal Radio, celebrating the connection with our pets, and we'll head back to the phones in just a couple of seconds.
So Pixel is here with us in the studio, and if you're like me, if you take your dog to work, they're always looking at us.
What is she thinking?
I don't know. We look at her, and she cocks her head when I'm talking. Yes, and she's what goes on in that little mind of hers?
You know what? I got this morning. This came across my desk. It's about a company called Regal AI. AI, it's the thing now, all the rave.
So what do?
They build AI agents for brands. And they've actually built an AI dog hotline.
No way.
Okay, I was a little skeptical at first. When I first heard about it, I thought it might be like Siri, like robotic.
Right.
But not so, and I'll show you in just a couple of seconds here.
Wait, you can actually have a conversation. And they answer. It's your dog is answering you?
For all intents and purposes, you're talking to your dog.
Whoa. Okay, I gotta hear this.
Okay, so they have the 15 most common breeds. I'm going to go over here to the website. And you should write this down, too, at home. It's regal.ai/dog. Regal.ai/dog. I was able to have a full conversation that felt exactly like I was talking to Pixel. I'm typing in regal.ai/dog. And when you get there, they have the 15 most common breeds. You'll pick one, and it has a phone number right next to it. And I guess Pixel is most Chihuahua.
Yeah, she's got some Chihuahua in her. That's the one that I would pick for her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to pick Chihuahua here and call her up.
Call Pixel, yes.
Oh, how thrilling. Let the world know that I, your fabulous Chihuahua, am now a star of the airwaves. But tell me, can you remind me of my name? The name that you call me?
Pixel, of course.
Oh, Pixel. Exquisite. The perfect name for a star like me. What have you always wanted to tell me now that we can chat?
You hog the bed.
Dramatic gasp. Hog the bed? My dear human, I consider it a compliment to my majestic presence. But let's be honest. How can I be fabulous without my beauty sleep? Speaking of which, how about we snuggle after your day is done? That way I can reclaim my throne.
You're so cute. Okay.
Ah, sweet words. I thrive on compliments, like a diva basking in the spotlight. Now, darling, I saw you enjoying a snack earlier. Was it delicious? And more importantly, did you save me a bite?
Well, of course. You eat half of everything I eat.
Half of everything? That's just me embracing the sharing is caring philosophy. But let's be real. I deserve my own gourmet morsels. How about we share a delightful snack together soon? A piece of cheese, perhaps? It would be a moment worthy of a telenovela scene.
Oh, most definitely. I love cheese.
Ah, cheese. The ambrosia of the gods. We shall dine like the royalty we are. Now, I've been talking too much again. Time to rest my voice and perfect my poses. Call me back any time and ask me any questions you want, darling. Can't wait to chat again soon.
This is crazy.
Isn't that wild?
It is.
Okay, as you can imagine, Regal.ai builds AI agents for all kinds of businesses. If you want to learn more about what Regal AI can do, check them out at Regal.ai. And for sure, try out any one of the 15 dog breed hotlines for yourself. Here's the address one more time. It's Regal.ai/dog.
And it's even free.
That's the best price. Regal.ai/dog.
Come on, for a free chance to talk to your dog, you gotta do this.
Regal.ai/dog.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Hi, everybody. This is Lori Morgan reminding you to please spay or neuter your pets.
If you're between the ages of 55 and 63, disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. The average is about $1,300 a month. It's a benefit you are entitled to from working. Use it to pay your normal living expenses. This free call only takes 10 minutes, and it could provide you the necessary financial relief you need. Plus, our services cost you nothing until you receive your benefit check. Save yourself time and aggravation. We know how to get the job done for you as quickly as possible. So if you are physically or mentally disabled and can't return to work, and you're between the ages of 55 and 63, learn if you qualify for your $1,300 a month check. Make this free call right now to the Social Security Disability Helpline.
800-380-4429. 800-380-4429. 800-380-4429. That's 800-380-4429.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Here's Hal and Judy.
And we go to Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. Where are you calling from today?
Well, right now I'm in Inglewood.
in the L.A. area?
Yeah, at a Starbucks.
Okay. Well, what's going on? I have the doctor here.
A couple questions. One, I had a girlfriend who, there was a little baby cat in the middle of the street. We were in Watts. And you know how rough, I don't know if you guys know about L.A. or not. Compton, Watts area is pretty tough. And it's late at night, this cat's screaming and crying. And she says, hey, why don't you take him home with you? So I did. Never had a cat in my life. So she's grown up now. It's only been like 5-6 months. All of a sudden, she's gotten really, really big. And I never had a cat. So now all of a sudden I find myself with all these feathers, well, not feathers, hairs on my clothes, she sleeps on my bed. I have a, king-size bed. And, I want to know, first of all, how can I get all these feathers, hairs out of my clothes and my, and off my bed, off my bed. That's number one. I have a couple questions. Number two, is it okay to feed her? I feed her cat food and, the normal cat food, but is it okay? Somebody told me not to feed her, like sometimes I'll have chicken or I'll have fish or, I just recently started feeding her. She'll come up and, I'll give her some fish or a little cat, human food. Somebody told me that wasn't good. That's number two. Number three what was the other? Was something very important too. When she gets in, I guess she starts meowing, meow. She does, as she's getting older, it becomes very irritating for me. And someone told me she's in heat. Now, I don't know what the hell is going on sometimes because she's really irritating, but I love her so much and I don't want to get rid of her. I don't know what to do about that either or where to go. Can you help with those three questions?
Absolutely. We can help you. Now, first question I have for you is she have short hair or kind of long hair?
Well, I guess I can say about an inch when they come off.
Okay.
Maybe
pretty short hair. Okay. So in dealing with the hair, cats are going to be constantly shedding. So you're always going to have mature hair being replaced with new hair. So for cats, they will tend to groom themselves, but some cats need a little bit of extra help. So the two ways to manage this, one is to work on brushing her. The other thing is to work on vacuuming and picking up the hair. So for her, some cats aren't always hip to the whole idea of having a brush to their back right off the bat. So what you might do is see about getting a grooming glove. It's kind of a glove that's got like little nubby things that help to kind of loosen the hairs. It's a great way to get her used to the grooming sensation. But generally, firm brushes with the kind of the firm bristles, those are the great ways to get the hairs out there.
Oh, okay. So now, when I brush her, I just brush every day, 2 times a day.
If you can brush every day, you are a faithful cat dad. So I would say that would be awesome. If you can't do that, a couple times a week. But if you're trying to get on top of this hair thing, really daily brushing is going to be great. And it's also for a lot of cats, it's a great way to bond. They enjoy it on most parts of their body. Underbelly, they're not real hip with that. But that's one thing.
I'm glad you told me that. All right.
So, and then the other thing for the environment to deal with the hair, vacuuming is great for those areas where you can just, hit the carpet, areas, tops of beds. A lot of folks get those little sticky rollers that are like tape that you can just take and roll it on your clothing to remove the hair, especially if you're about to go walking out to work, or something important.
Okay.
So that's just a matter of kind of just picking up the hair with whatever means you need, vacuuming, sweeping, all of that.
Okay, gotcha. I got you on that now. Tell me about I don't have a lot of time. Sorry about that. I'm kind of in the middle of teaching. I'm a master in chess, and I got some people waiting for me. Can you tell me more importantly, what do I do about her being in heat?
Okay. Number one thing, cats will stay in heat, keep going in heat unless we stop that. And the best thing is to get her spayed, and that will take care of things. But cats go through a heat cycle. They'll go out of it for a few days, and they go back into it. They're annoying. They cry, scream, make a lot of fuss, and become overly affectionate. So that's going to be the best thing you can do.
Do you have any place suggested that I can take her? And how much is it? Very expensive?
I don't know what kind of facilities you have there. I can tell you the cost may vary depending on whether you go to a shelter environment. In the Vegas area, I would tell you that the shelter, I think the space costs somewhere around $70 to $90 at starting price. In a veterinary office, you're probably looking more like $100 to maybe $200, somewhere in that range. But a lot kind of depends on what you're looking for there.
Dr. Debbie, I really appreciate that very much. And now we know you're not hiding. You're in Vegas.
I'm in Vegas, yeah.
You're in an undisclosed. You're someone nobody knew, but now we know you're somewhere around Vegas, right?
I sure am. Yep, I'm a Vegasite.
Ronnie, hold on a second. We're going to grab your address, and I'm going to send you some toys for your cat, some Frolic Cat toys.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and by the way, spaying that animal will not only get rid of the meowing and the chance that she'll get pregnant, but there's a lot of health issues. She'll be a healthier cat for it.
Really?
So yes, much healthier.
Oh, man. I was really afraid to do that because I heard they got a cut on her, and I didn't know whether that was good or not.
No, it's very good. Very good.
She's young. She'll bounce back, and she will become a better pet for you. And then I'm going to throw in there real quickly. Also, the diet. Feed her cat food. That's the best thing for her. Cats can become beggars just like dogs. So it's best to let her get her calories and all her nutrition from the cat food.
So don't feed her the human food.
No. She can get tummy upset, and you can actually create a begging cat, and that will demand food from you. So yeah, you don't want to get into that habit. Just some good cat food would be the way to go.
Okay, you guys have been very helpful. I really appreciate this so much.
Well, thanks for listening. We appreciate it. Also, you mentioned you were listening early in the morning. Don't forget, we have several listening options during the day on Sunday afternoon right there in Los Angeles. Hang tight for a second. I'm going to put Judy on the phone with you. She'll get your information. We'll send you this stuff. Ronnie, thanks for calling.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you use insulin or have had hypoglycemic events, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. 800-434-5019. That's 800-434-5019.
This is an Animal Radio News Update.
I'm Stacy Cohen for Animal Radio. Well, we've heard a lot about horse meat in Europe, but in the United States, there's a new type of animal that people are eating, or maybe they've been eating it for a while. I don't know. But a state lawmaker in Illinois is doing his best to outlaw it, and it's lion meat. The Chicago Sun-Times reports that State Representative Luis Ario is trying to pass a law that would ban the sale of lion meat. If the law passes, anybody who sells lion meat for human consumption could face a year in jail or a fine up to $25,000. He calls the practice of killing and eating lions inhumane because they're zoo animals. Arroyo says he got the idea for the law from a very interesting person. Apparently, lion is rare fare in Chicago, but one Chicago area butcher supposedly used to sell the meat until he was indicted for his involvement in animal trafficking. Meanwhile, Arroyo says he knows 2 places in Illinois where he thinks lion meat is sold. So, have you ever heard somebody say you had a gay dog? It had a gay tail. I know, it sounds weird, but there's a different meaning for that. The term gay tail has nothing to do with your dog's gender or sexuality, if he's neutered or not. It's gay in the sense of happy, and it refers to a tail that's flying high when the dog's alert and engaged, like when he's playing at the dog park. Specifically, it refers to a tail that's set a little higher at the point where it connects to the body, allowing the dog to carry it above the top line. So if you follow the back, in other words, the tail's angle departs from the flat line and goes uphill. The reason I'm telling you this is because I was at the dog park the other day and somebody said, wow, your dog's got, it looks gay. I was, I wasn't prepared for that. I just, not that there's anything wrong with it, but I just wanted a little more information. In some breeds, a gay tail is considered undesirable in the show ring. Like a pointer, for example, the line of the back should be continued through the tail to make sure the bird here point is more obvious. A perfect example can be found in the logo of the prestigious Westminster Kennel Club. It's a stylized picture of a pointer named Sensation. Anyway, as long as the tail's wagging, I'm happy. And you know what? You should be too. I'm Stacey Cohen. Get more animal breaking news at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update. Get more at animalradio.com.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now. Download the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
It's Animal Radio. Not your father's pet talk by any means whatsoever. I saw this article in the paper about this. What kind of dog was this? A retriever? Was it a retriever? Ate 111 pennies, apparently sitting on the counter.
Oh. He's a dog that likes to give change.
That's enough change that's sitting in the back of my couch right now.
That can be toxic, though, isn't it? Can they get some kind of toxicity from it?
Absolutely, yeah. Zinc in many types of pennies, yeah.
They removed it 5 at a time, and the dog is doing okay. So what is that? Was that a retriever? I didn't see that there. Retrievers eat anything, don't they, Doc?
They do. They are definitely the poster child for ingestion troubles, whether it's something toxic or something weird. Like, I've had a dog actually ingest the tongs from a barbecue.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Crazy, but true, yes.
You see it all over there, I imagine.
Yeah, we get all sorts of interesting things. This week we've had all sorts of rocks being cut out of animals, Easter grass still hanging out with some patients needed surgery. So we've had a lot, definitely.
Hey, Dr. Debbie, what's the most valuable thing you've ever removed from a dog's tummy?
Oh, I would have to see some jewelry that we help to facilitate passing through the backside.
Ooh.
Wow.
Meaning there was some poop scoop and a little bit of some laxatives that were used. But yeah, that was a diamond ring that was actually passed that way.
Like a wedding ring?
Wow.
Yeah, engagement ring. So that's probably the most valuable on a dollar basis. But there's all sorts of wacky things. Children's toys, believe it or not, a lot of those plastic toys, little army men. I have a picture of an x-ray of an army man where you can see it in the dog's stomach and he's got his little gun poised. So you got to pick up after those kids. They're, kids are filthy. You got to pick up after them.
Well, my dog chews on my phone, my iPhone, and I just got an iPad, and I'm afraid that they're going to chew on the iPad. But one of the things I see with this iPad, one of the apps that I have the option of downloading, is the Pavlov Dog Monitor, which is a dog training application, which I'm just getting familiar with. Just put it on yesterday. Oh, hey, Philip, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm right here. How are you guys?
Good. Phillip Angert. Is that how we pronounce your name?
Yeah, Phillip Angert. You got it right.
Okay, so you have an app called the Pavlov Dog Monitor, which is for iPad. What does it do?
It's kind of like a baby monitor, but for your dog, so you can remotely check on them when they start barking. It sends you a message on your Facebook from your pet that the pet sends themselves based on their barking behavior.
Okay, so
and the point of it is when it hears the barking, it sends out a video of the owner telling them, "Bad boy, no barking."
Oh.
And when they're good, then they get a good boy video. So it's kind of like a remote monitor that's got a little bit of, extra design in there.
So they have to be using their iPad. First of all, you have to get your pet an iPad. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Your pet needs his own iPad now.
No, but they do need to see the iPad?
Well, yeah, so they're going to have it just with them. That's the base station. The pet needs their own iPad at home to communicate with you.
Okay. And so when they bark, a message that the owner or the guardian has pre-recorded comes on, scolding them.
Yeah, so when they bark, it triggers two things. One, a message to the owner that the dog's at home barking, a little picture of the dog and a sound wave of how loud and how many times, and then a pre-recorded video, and then the owners can do any kind of video they want. So it's just based on, your relationship with the pet. You can turn them off or, have them on, whichever way.
And on the flip side, if they've been good, if they don't bark, a video comes on of the owner that you've pre-recorded of them giving them kudos. Is that correct?
Correct. And we have now a treat dispenser that's going to be working with the app. So you can trigger that remotely or the app triggers that so they get actual little treat.
Oh.
No. What I like is if the dog is barking, could you program the thing to play like a loud sound, like a bunch of cans falling on the floor instead of the owner scolding?
I mean, that's up to whatever the person wants to do, but
perfect.
Of course, it's just the default there is just a little sound bite.
I like the idea. What if my dog likes to eat my electronic devices?
Then you should definitely put those away out of reach.
Well, then you need a second iPad to say bad dog when he eats the first iPad.
Yeah, that question is definitely an important one with leaving electronics at home with the pet. You definitely want to mount them up high enough so that the pet can't reach them.
Sure.
You don't want to put it down on the floor because then the pet, will play with it like a toy if that's what they do.
Hey, Philip, what is the sensitivity on this as far as you mentioned, like one bark, or like what if a dog barks like once every 10 seconds? Are you going to keep getting these memos to your phone saying barking is going on?
No, so there's a algorithm that we built in there, kind of like a tuning the app based on your pet's behavior. So after you use it for a few rounds, it starts to understand your pet's, mood at home. If the pet's starting to just go to sleep all the time and the app's working for your pet, then they get less and less videos. We want them to be, not reliant on the app and don't wake them up from sleep. And on the other hand, if the dog barks just here and there, then they shouldn't get too many. So it tunes itself over time. That's how the app works.
Now, it sounds like a really genius idea, but I'm always the devil's advocate here. I'm thinking, what if the dog sees your owner and hears their owner and is intentionally setting off this device, trying to get the message from the owner or the guardian?
I think I know what you're asking, and it's been really interesting with all the beta users and the people that are using it right now. They're noticing that when the dog walker comes home just to walk their dog, because this app was developed for people that live in a big city, and you got neighbors complaining about barking dogs. You actually get a message. Yeah, the dog barks to remind or to make that notice. Yep, somebody just came to the door, and then you just got a notification that the dog walker just got there. It's kind of like a surveillance camera that your dog triggers.
But dogs like any kind of
attention,
negative attention. If they keep going over there, they're bored, and they go over there and they bark, and they see their owner. That's
why I asked him if you could program, because you know what dogs hate is loud noise. I was talking to somebody about how to keep their dog off the counter, and you could put like 12 tin cans up there in a pyramid, and you could attach food to it, and when the dog goes to get the food, all these tin cans fall down. Dogs hate that. They hate to be startled, so they learn to stay off the counter because they're going to have a really menacing sound happen that's displeasurable to them.
Well, you always say when you make those noises to distract your dog, don't let them know where it's coming from, and they will know where this is coming from. So I'm actually going to try this out and test it with our little yapper ladybug and see if it works.
But let me ask you this: are you working on one for a shopping wife? Like if she spends a lot of money.
We've got a couple users that are using it for their husbands. Actually, they wake up and they get the bad boy. No.
I'll do it for my husband snoring.
Ooh, there you go.
It sounds like you're onto something. It's $1.99 to download this app, and you can get it at the App Store. Pavlov Dog Monitor, of course, we'll link to it from animalradio.com. And, of course, I will be testing this out over the next couple of weeks, and I will let everybody know how it is working.
How fun.
Philip, thank you so much for joining us and for your brilliant idea.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
I would love to go on vacation, but I don't want to leave our Charlie behind.
I agree. I heard that the magazine Fido Friendly lists places where you can stay with your pet. They also offer reviews so you have an idea about pet policy to include any restrictions, fees, and what pet amenities to expect.
That's, dare I say, awesome. What are we waiting for?
I'm way ahead of you. I just logged on to FidoFriendly.com and found a 4-star resort. Hilton Santa Fe Resort and Spa at Buffalo Thunder in New Mexico.
Charlie agrees. When do we leave?
As soon as you can pack your bags. It's off to adventure with Charlie, thanks to Fido Friendly Magazine. To find your next family adventure that includes your furry family friend, log on to FidoFriendly.com.
This is
Animal Radio, baby. Our very talented dream team, of course, dog father Joey Villani. Check out his new spot and odor remover. Good stuff. We've been using it around here to get the blood out of the carpets. Also,
Ew, stop that.
Sounds like some kind of,
I know.
what's going on?
Dr. Debbie, of course, she has her line of books, which are great. Yorkshire Terriers, Shih Tzus, Pugs, Mini Schnauzers, How to Be Your Dog's Best Friend. Very good books. You're a hell of a writer, I'll tell you that right now.
Thank you. You know, and I'm so thrilled. I have a lot of my patients, my clients that are actually reading the books and like, oh, yes. But you know what? I'm telling these things in the exam rooms and they're not listening. They read it in the book and they're like, aha.
It's a whole different story. Let's head on over to Kathy. Hey, Kathy, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Dana Point, California.
Oh, okay.
Orange County.
Orange County, okay, very good. I have Dr. Debbie right here. What's going on?
We are trying to help our dog adjust from the loss of his master, my mother-in-law. Is it best to give away things like blankets that were in her home that he used to sit on with her, or anything that would carry her scent? And the reason I'm asking it is because when we went back to her home, we had to take our dog with us. And when we went into the home, he hid underneath the coffee table the entire time unless I could coax him out with me. And any time he was around anything that had the scent, like blanket, whatever, he would just bolt away from it and go back to either the bed that he was sleeping on with us or under the coffee table. And we're going to have to go back. And so I'm trying to figure out the best way to not cause him so much stress and anxiety.
Okay. Now, how long ago did she pass?
September of this past year, so it's been about 6 months.
Okay. And then, so how is the dog behaving in your home?
Beautifully. I mean, he's got some quirks because he was a lap dog for her for the last 3 or 4 years. She fed him human food. So,
all right. Well, a couple things is the first thing is that dogs really kind of suit some purpose in everyone's lives. They find it. We find what their job is. My one large Labrador is the clown in the house. That's what his job is. We don't expect him to have brains, but he is just our entertainment. For a dog that is in a home with an elderly person or someone who's ill, they suit a purpose in that home. And a lot of times it's companion. It is moral support. It is really just their right arm, if you will, emotionally. So going back into that physical environment may remind him that this is what you did, but because she's no longer there, it creates anxiety for him.
Okay.
So the challenge is that I don't think at this point that trips to the home are going to be in his best interest. The challenge would be if there are items you need to integrate into your home, we want to do that on a preferably on his new turf where he's comfortable and relaxed and he's not fearful and behaving with anxiety, and then try to introduce those things and work on rewarding him for being calm and quiet in their presence. If it's a matter of things like bedding, laundering, that can help. But a lot of these things that are really scent triggers for these guys, it's really going to take him back there. And because she's not there, he wants to perform that role, and it's creating anxiety for him. So
it is the anxiety. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then
That's tremendous help.
And then the other things that you can really do, and for any pet that's grieving the loss of another pet or a master, is that we really kind of have to occupy their time in getting them into some structure. Okay. So we're not asking them to forget. We're just trying to ask them to focus both mental and emotional energy. So, getting him on a schedule at the house where you're taking him out for walks twice a day. You take him to a dog park for socialization, or doggy daycare, things that kind of occupy him, keep him physically tired and also mentally stimulated, different things going on. That's going to help his mindset so that, when you start to introduce furniture or items, that you're going to have a little bit calmer pet that's not going to have as much pent-up anxiety because he's going to have a new purpose, a new job in that house, maybe to be your friend going for walks twice a day or to accompany you to the dog park. So you have to find that new role for him in the house and make sure that, it's a scheduled program.
If I have time to ask one question about a spirit when a person passes and the dog is there. This dog was with her. She wanted that, but right a second before she passed away, he bolted out of the room. I had to go and lie down with him in another room and try to calm him. And a friend of mine said that animals can actually, particularly dogs, can actually see the spirit leaving the body. Is that true? I mean, I don't know how we know it for sure, but is that conceivable?
Well, I mean, getting into the spirit realm is kind of out of my expertise, but what I can tell you is that animals sense disease and they sense death in a way that we don't anticipate. So in many times, they know what's coming. So they understand. So they don't have to always be reminded of someone who's passed because they've sensed that coming on for some time. So a lot of times we need to prepare pets for someone's, impending passing, whether it's a, household pet or a person. But a lot of times they know. If it's some kind of disease process, there's an energy they pick up. There's biochemical sense, things like that. So talking on a scientific level, absolutely. Those things were changing. He was sensing that. As far as the spiritual thing, I probably can't be the one to answer that, but I definitely feel that animals know when these things are happening.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this time to get your expertise on this.
Okay. Well, best wishes for y'all.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for joining us for Animal Radio. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, my friends. I love you all.
Bye.
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 This is Animal Radio Network.